This video is meant to show you the main difference between the previous Giulietta's and the new Giulietta. The main difference, starting from the tap, we can look that the older tap was made this way, but the new one looks like the one from Bianca and Mara X. Now we have also 3 taps, 2 for steams and 1 for water, and not the 2 from the basic model. Also, the main change is not that we don't have the manual extraction anymore, but just the keyboard. The other difference is concerns the group, or better, the filter holder. Now we have the coffee slide, like for the other machines, and the filter holder is the inclined one and with the polished finish. Okay, the other difference concerns the group, or better, the filter holder. In fact, now we have the coffee slide, and the filter holder is inclined with a polished finish. The other difference is the height, which is now 12 centimeters. Talking about dimension, we can say that the dimensions are the same apart from the depth. In fact, now the drip tray is 3 centimeters longer than the previous one. The last difference concerns the cup warmer, which is no longer in plastic, but it's a stainless steel wire grate. The last difference is that the previous machine worked with the pressostat, and the new machine works with a PID and a display, which make it easier to regulate the machine.
This is the Giulietta, how it's made. And as we can see, we have here the button for the doses, here, 1 and 2. Inside, as we can see, we have here the boiler. The size is the same, is a 10-liter boiler. We have here the water level probe, temperature probe, anti-vacuum valve, safety thermostat, and on the side where we can see the pressure gauge, we have the hydraulic circuit, water charge solenoid valve, not return valve, OPV valve. This is the pressure gauge for the pump, here, this. Here we have the pump, the motor, and here we have the pump. This is the motor, this is the pump, and this is the adjustment for the pressure of the pump. If we want more, we have to screw. If we want less pressure, we have to unscrew these yellow screws. On the other side, we have the on-off button, the display, electronic card, solid static relay is 35 ampere, and we have practically here, this is the display, on-off button, electronic card, and here, as we can see, we have the flow meter here. On the bottom of the boiler, we have this tap. If we want to change or we have to do some maintenance and the boiler is full of water, we can use this to drain the water inside here. For example, if I have to change the heating element, before to remove the heating element, to avoid that the water came out, I can empty the boiler thanks to this. Only open the tap. You can see now, if I move it, some water came out. Heating element of the heating element, connecting in this way, the machine works with 2500 watt for the heating element. If we remove the plate, one of these plate, we can remove power from the heating element because we have two heating element in one practically. Is 2000 more 500 watt. If we want, we can remove the 500 watt power, and then we have the machine that can work at 10 ampere. If we have to check the solenoid valve for the brew, we have one screw for side. One screw, sorry. We have to unscrew it. Remove the two screws and press on the bottom of the plate and pull. As we can see, the cover came out, and we have access to the solenoid valve. You can find this or an OLAB version. It's the same valve, and if we have to change something, we have one screw here and the second. It's very easy because you can unscrew easily, also with a classic screwdriver. Okay, one solenoid valve, each grouped. Between the Giuliettax and the old Giulietta is the position of the boiler. In the new Giuliettax, the boiler, the 10-liter boiler, is perfectly in the middle between the grouped number 1 and the grouped number 2. This allows the same temperature for each group. We have more, for example, if here I have 91, here I can have 91, 92 or 90. In the old Giulietta, normal version or with the flow meter is the same. The boiler is a little bit on the right, as we can see. Grouped, and the boiler is not, look better here. Yes, is a little bit in this direction, and with this design we have this tube different, and then this. It's not like this. Look, the difference. Giuliettax and old Giulietta. This tube is a little bit different than this, and we can have more difference during the brew, for the brew temperature, for each group. And then the new Giulietta is more stable. The electronic of the old Giulietta is different. Here, old Giulietta, we have electronic card, teleruttore, contactor, and pressure stat. The pressure stat does not detect the temperature, but detect the pressure inside in the boiler. And it works, yes, but not as precise as the NTC temperature probe. In this case, the electronic card works with the PID and with this relay. And thanks to this, we have the machine works quieter. We have not the tock of the pressure stat, because this works with a spring. Look how it works. If I can, I remove it very fast. The old Giulietta works with a spring, and when the pressure reaches the maximum setting, open this contactor, and you can hear the tock when the contactor open or close the passage of the power. In this case, it's very quieter. And also with the PID we can work with more power in less second with the PID setting in the electronic card. And you can also change the value with the display and with the button here. For example, in the new version, if we have to do maintenance to the solenoid valve, is easier. To the water charge solenoid valve is easier because it's here. You have more access. Also, if you have to adjust the OPV valve, look, you have the pump. You can change the pump pressure, and you can change the OPV valve pressure. And you can remove only this panel, because you can access immediately in all you need. In the old is a little bit more complicated because the OPV valve is there, and to access there when the boiler is hot is very complicated. And also the water charge solenoid valve is here, and you have to remove all this panel of the machine. Version, you have to remove this only if you have to check or if you have to change the flow meter, but happens very rarely. And if you remove this, you can access very easily to the first and the second, also because the second you can operate in this way, in this part. In the old, if you have to change this, you have to remove this U-tube and you have to remove the flow meter, and after that you can remove this and you can remove this. In the new, you can try, it's easier with this tool, and you can do it also only with one hand. You remove this, and I use only one hand, but it's very easily, and it's faster and easier. You do this, you change, and you reassemble. It's easier.